Everybody came through the game against St Mirren okay?
Yeah, but Chris Julian's picked up a knock in training yesterday, so we're assessing him today. The rest of the squad is fit and healthy apart from Mikey Johnson.
Okay. Some interesting quotes from Dermot Desmond going around this morning, some of which pertain to Celtic in Europe and the club looking to bring in an expert to get a psychological expert to get over the fear of failure. Are you aware of this happening and what's the situation?
Well, we're always looking to, find another edge. I wouldn't just put it down to the European scenario. I would put it down to all-encompassing, whether it be domestic or European. I touching back on the Ferencváros game, I felt we were very unlucky. I don't think it was anything to do with the players' mindset. We've equalised, we've hit the bar, we've had a goal disallowed, and then we just lost concentration for a split second. So it was one that got away from us. And you look at this team over the period of time. Mentally, they're very, very strong, and they've handled big occasions and big moments, very, very well. But we're still looking to try and improve as best we can. And if that means looking at the psychological side of it, then we will.
Is that someone coming in to speak to the players as a group or individually, or how's it going to work?
It can be both. It can be individually or it can be as a group.
Has that process started?
Well, we're looking at a few sort of scenarios where we may introduce it to the group or we may introduce it to certain individuals. But it's an ongoing process, and it's been something in the offing for over a year now.
Have you spoke to Dermot about it?
Yeah, I spoke to Dermot, spoke to Peter, spoke to the board. We've covered all that aspect from, the bosses upstairs.
Neil, just from me on that Dermot Desmond interview this morning, he also was talking about the British Premier League and whatnot due to the coronavirus and different rights and what can come about of this pandemic. What's your thoughts on that in terms of moving forward? Dermot would obviously like to see Celtic Rangers part of a bigger picture in terms of British football.
Well, that might, be the case. We don't really know how the landscape's going to look if and when this pandemic ends. I know it's been touched upon many, many times before, but, there's been a lot of hurdles to overcome before that. I can't sort of give you a definitive answer on it, Ronnie, one way or the other. So we'll just have to wait and see what the future brings. I can't predict what's going to happen.
And in terms of the European draw, I mean, Sarajevo, if you get by Riga in the next round, I appreciate that. But your thoughts on the draw? Well,
we're away, so again, it's difficult. Riga won this morning by the odd goal, so we'll do all our prep work, going into that game. It's important we have the Europa League, football going into, the first half of the season. So, yeah, hopefully we can negotiate Riga, and then we'll see what, say the one team or Sarajevo. We've played Sarajevo before. We had a, decent result, couple of results against them. So, yeah, it's it could have been a lot worse to draw, but it could have been a lot better as well.
How difficult is it going to be to juggle all this, Neil? Or are you just used to it now with midweek Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's, we've got a heavy sort of schedule of games, and I think it's welcome because the season's been a little bit stop-start for us, so now we're getting into a run of games that we're all looking forward to, and the players are looking forward to as well. So it's not an issue. We've got good depth in the squad, and, we'll balance it off as best we can as we go along.
In terms of tomorrow, what are you expecting from Livingston?
Well, they've sort of changed their style of play a little bit. They started the season with a back three, and now they've gone back to back four. And obviously, they've sold Lyndon Dykes, who was a huge player for them. So they're probably in a little bit of a transition period going into this season. The results haven't been as good as they have been over previous seasons, but we're still expecting Livingston to be difficult to beat and full of energy. There's one thing about Gary Holt's Livingston, they really are a team of great spirit and energy, and they've given us problems over the past couple of years.
As it looks to be longer and longer before fans will maybe get back into grounds, is there anything you can do with the players to work with them to get over that kind of lack of atmosphere in a sense?
Well, we can show them, the stats, the KPIs, the performance indicators, and from what I've seen, of recently, the results are pretty good. So that's one area where we can, look at it and say, look, we're doing quite well. The performance levels has been good. You can't replicate the raw energy that the supporters bring, and we've adapted very, very well. Compared to a lot of other clubs, our form has been very, very good.
Neil, you said that you feel you have the depth of squad there a couple of answers ago, but can you quantify how many you would like to bring in before the window closes?
Probably one. So again, we're working away in the background on trying to get the right fit and the right player for the right position. But I'm delighted with the business that we've done. Shane has come in and made an instant impact. Barkas is settling in very, very well. Ajetti's scored 3 goals already in limited time on the pitch. We've still got David Turnbull to, he's made his debut, but, get his first start. Delighted with that signing as well. So, and obviously Elyounoussi. So I think we've brought in real quality, and, as time goes by, we'll see that sort of manifest itself as we go along.
Given what you said there, then, how do you compare this window to previous windows? Has it been easier to bring in players or more difficult?
Good question. It's a different market. There's not a lot of business being done. So in that aspect, in terms of bringing players in, like all dealings, they're protracted at times. But in terms of enticing players here, it's been okay. Yeah, it's been good.
Neil, just for me, finally, you mentioned about your team hitting top form, and you're still waiting for that sort of main click together. How can that come about in terms of your players reaching that next level?
Just playing more games, regular games, getting more of an understanding with each other. I think some players are still feeling their way into the season and the surrounding circumstances. But like I said on Wednesday, I was delighted, to get the win. I thought our intensity and our attitude to the game was fantastic. Could have been very easy to switch off. We got off to a bad start, and our reaction to that was brilliant, and we dominated the game. And if we'd have won the game 3 or 4-1, would have put a better sheen on the performance. But in terms of what I got out of the performance, it was better, I felt, than it was at the weekend when we won 5-0. So yeah, we want to marry both halves, put everything together, and I think we're not far off doing that now.
Neil, there's been a lot of speculation surrounding Ryan Christie's future. Did his performance in midweek sort of highlight how important he is to the team?
Yeah, I don't know where the speculation's coming from, but he's a good player, Ryan, and I was really pleased. I thought he was a real sort of positive influence on the game from our point of view in an attacking sense, and 2 great balls for both the goals, and he was always in the thick of the action trying to make things happen. So again, he's a player who is very, very important to us. He had a great season last year, and we're starting to see the best of him again as we go on.